Jayson Tatum very rarely sits out of Boston Celtics regular season games, but he also very rarely gets injured. Well, Boston Celtics fans' worst nightmare happened against the Sacramento Kings last night when he took a contested three, made the three, but Sabonis ended up in his landing zone, which caused Jayson Tatum to step on Sabonis' foot, buckle his ankle, and he immediately hit the deck. We're going to break down the latest injury news here on Jayson Tatum and how Boston Celtics could possibly get some good news after a very, very scary sighting. Before we break it down here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports, I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and give Jayson Tatum some love. We are very, very fortunate that Tatum is very hard-headed, very rarely sits out of basketball games, but when he does go down, well, I lost my breath. Spam JT in the comment section down below just to give him some love for being our guy every single night. So here's a little recap of what happened against the Sacramento Kings. As you can see, Jayson Tatum is on the ground in absolute agony. This is what originally scared me the most. I have never seen Jayson Tatum in the fetal position showing this much distress and pain after rolling his ankle. He immediately grabbed that left ankle, rolled over, threw the towel over his head while personnel tried to come to his aid. Other team members started gathering around him, and also notice right there with Jaylen Brown and Domantas Sabonis. Sabonis apologized for the injury. This was not intentional whatsoever, but it was deemed a flagrant foul one. Jaylen Brown actually walked over as Sabonis was trying to double check on Tatum, and he pushed him away. Nobody messes with Jaylen Brown's brother. So once you saw Jayson Tatum in absolute agony, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is it. This is it. Tatum's out 3-4 weeks. Tatum might miss the next 6 to 8 weeks. Something is wrong with his ankle. And immediately gave me flashbacks to 2023 Eastern Conference Finals, where all of Boston's hope and dreams started to dwindle because we very, very rarely have to deal with Jayson Tatum's name on the injury report. So when he does get injured, and this is a guy that is extremely stubborn. He doesn't like to sit out for anything, even if he's hurting. So you know he has a high pain tolerance. So if he is over there rolling on the ground, covering his face, he has to be in the utmost pain at that exact moment. But then we had a moment of lightness, a moment of breathing when we saw Tatum walk back out onto the court, not being helped, no limp. He walked directly to the free throw line because he had to take the and one. He made that three. He had to take the and one, and then he took another free throw because of the flagrant one foul. And we watched how he was shooting. Both Achilles extended, both calves extended. He made 1 for 2, and he walked off the court without a limp. Headed straight back to the locker room, and that was the last time we saw him against the Sacramento Kings. After the game, Joe Mazzulla did give an update on Jayson Tatum, saying he seems to be doing okay. Whew, I didn't see the play, but they made the right call. Fortunate that he was able to shoot the free throws. He's taking care of it right now. I literally just asked him how he was doing, and he said, okay. He'll do anything and everything to make sure that he gets better. Jayson Tatum appeared to have avoided a major injury with 10 games left to go in the regular season. And by the way that his ankle looked when he hit Sabonis' foot, I mean, his ankle damn near touched the floor. It buckled so hard. Reminded me of in high school when I used to wear high heels and didn't know how to walk in them. But Tatum is stubborn. He plays through injuries. And if he says he's going to do everything he can to get back out there on the court, I 110% believe that statement. And the Boston Globe also tweeted out this little nugget that made me feel even better about the situation, is that Tatum left the arena tonight with no crutches or boot, just a very slight limp. He was also eating and talking and laughing with his teammates after the game as well. So he seems to be in high spirits. There is no walking boot. There is no limp. There is no crutches. It looks like Tatum is going to be okay because I can work with a slight limp. If I see my king in a boot walking out to his car, that's when I'm going to start to panic. But a slight limp, I can work with. I'm sure he's probably feeling a certain amount of pain. I mean, my goodness, his ankle completely went sideways. That's not going to feel good for anybody. But he's going to do the rehab. You know that team and that personal team is going to help him get back to his health status. Jayson Tatum also told Ramona Shelburne of ESPN that he's okay. It's just sore. And I'm sure that it hurt. I'm sure that also when he hit the deck, it was more of a scare factor as well. Tatum probably hasn't felt something like that in a long time. In fact, probably 2 years since that Eastern Conference Finals game. So it could have scared him, thinking, oh my God, here I go again. The same thing that happened that 7-game series against the Heat. Or it could have just scared him that he landed so awkwardly on that ankle, but thankfully, it doesn't look like it is anything that serious. So my last question for you guys here is, are you glad Jayson Tatum has avoided a major injury? Spam his number in the comment section. I mean, this dude is tough as nails. Put your zeros in the comment section down below. All right, we're going to talk a little bit here about what Boston should do moving forward. Now that they've had that injury scare with 10 regular season games left, do they start to bench the starters? How do we start to take our initiative moving forward to the playoffs? Before I break down what they should do with Jayson Tatum moving forward, let me go ahead and tell you guys real quick about our sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. If you guys want to test your skills and win some cash, then the daily fantasy sports app Prize Picks is the app for you. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 different states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. The app is really easy to use. To create a lineup, all you have to do is pick more or less on a few players' stats for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your money. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. On Prize Picks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports. Combine your favorite basketball players with players from baseball, hockey, esports, and much more. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. The second half of basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. Don't miss your chance to cash in as the league's best fight for playoff positioning. If you guys want to go on ahead and test out your skills just like I have played over 25 different entries. I've won over $1,000. Go on ahead, download the app today. Use promo code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. That'll give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. If I'm Joe, I'm sitting Tatum the rest of the week. Minimum. The rest of the week. They're going to finish out this West Coast away stint and then come back to the East Coast. Then after that, it's a pretty easy ride to the NBA playoffs. I would give Jayson Tatum as much rest as he possibly needs. Because on the West Coast, you're really not playing anybody of substantial. You're playing the bottom tier of the Western Conference standings. However, on Monday is when you play a top 5 opponent, the Memphis Grizzlies. I do think that would be a good game for Jayson Tatum to come back for. You do not need him to play against the Phoenix Suns or the San Antonio Spurs. You don't need him to play him against the Heat. Maybe if he starts to feel better, you could start playing him for the last 5 games of the season because you don't want him to be ice cold heading into the playoffs. So I say the Grizzlies and the Knicks are 2 games you want Jayson Tatum to play in. You want actually the whole starting lineup to play in those games. You got to remember, last night was the 21st game the starting 5 have played together this year. They could use a little bit more repetition, and I think 2 top 5 opponents in the Knicks and the Grizzlies would be a great test for Porzingis, Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, and Jayson Tatum. But the good news is that Baylor Scheierman is playing his ass off right now. Allie, what does Baylor Scheierman have to do with Jayson Tatum? Well, it's adding to that depth that we have at the forward position. Now, am I saying Scheierman replaces Tatum? Absolutely not. But if you need to rest Tatum, I full-heartedly trust Baylor Scheierman to play upwards of 25 minutes a game, and he can be in the positives the entire time. Because what he's done in the last 7 games throughout March, I have gained so much confidence in this kid to help the Boston Celtics on both ends of the court if you need to give Brown or Tatum some rest. He's averaging about 7.5 points a game, nearly 3 rebounds, shooting 50% from the field, and a whopping 47% from the three-point line. Not to mention all the stuff that he does off the box score. The defense, the steals, the blocks, the rebounding. Baylor Scheierman is a dog. And he has so much confidence because players like Brown and Tatum and even the coaches, Joe Mazzulla, have instilled that in him. He understands he plays for the best team in the NBA, and he's stepping up to prove that. After last night's win, Baylor Scheierman told Abby Chin, the reporter for the Boston Celtics, "I always feel very confident in my abilities to impact the game in whatever way necessary, and my coaches and teammates have a lot of trust in me." And they should. He's earned their trust. It's obviously a lot of fun to be out there in crunch time. So if you need to rest Jayson Tatum the way that you have just rested Jaylen Brown the last 3 games while he was dealing with his bone bruise, you can put your faith as a fan in Baylor Scheierman the way that I have. He has shown us that he's a baller. He's a dog. And he's going to go out there and try to help the Celtics win every single ball game. He's not Tatum. Definitely not Tatum. But he's a good piece off the bench that I think should be in the rotation of Pritchard, Hauser, and Horford. So give Baylor Scheierman some love. Let's play prize pick, shall we? All you guys have to do is pick more or less, just like you do in the prize picks app. Should Scheierman play more or less than 19.3 minutes per game? That is what he is averaging throughout the month of March. You think he should play more minutes? Type M for more. You think he should play less minutes? Type L for less. I'll keep you guys updated on Jayson Tatum's injury status moving forward. So if you guys want to go on ahead and get the latest on Boston Celtics basketball news and rumors, this is a channel for you. Go on ahead and hit that sub button.